In the first video, I told you that disease is failed physics. In the second, I showed you that the same physics has been running for 4 billion years. In the third, I opened the hood and showed you the rotary motors spinning in your cells right now. In this video, I'm going to tell you what the motors run on, and the answer is going to surprise you. Most people think that food is what powers the body. Calories in, energy out. The mitochondria burn the fuel. End of story. That is not the whole story. Your mitochondria do not just run on food, they run on light. Specifically, they run on the same wavelengths of red and near-infrared light that have been falling on this planet for 4.5 billion years. And there is a specific molecule in every single one of your cells that is built to absorb those photons directly. That molecule is cytochrome C oxidase, the terminal enzyme of the electron transport chain, the last stop on the assembly line that makes your ATP. When red and near-infrared photons hit cytochrome C oxidase, the enzyme works faster. Electron transport speeds up. Oxygen consumption rises. ATP production climbs by 20 to 40%. This is not a supplement effect. This is not a vitamin. This is light hitting your cells and your cells using it as direct energetic input. We have known this since 1967. The mechanism was nailed down in the 90s. There are now hundreds of randomized controlled trials documenting the effects, and almost no one in conventional medicine has ever told you about it. This is what The Environment Speaks is about. Volume 4, the book that takes the bioenergetic story out of the cell and into the world the cell was built for. Here is what becomes obvious once you understand this. We evolved under the sun for 4 billion years. Every cell in your body is calibrated for an environment that includes hours of full-spectrum light exposure every single day. Modern humans now spend approximately 90% of their lives indoors, under artificial light, behind window glass that filters out specific wavelengths, wearing sunglasses that block more. The eye, by the way, is not just a camera. It is the most metabolically active tissue in your body, gram for gram. It contains specialized cells that have nothing to do with vision. They detect ambient light intensity and send the signal directly to the master clock in your hypothalamus. When that signal is impoverished, every clock in your body drifts. Your sleep clock, your hormone clock, your hunger clock, your mood clock. This is why shift workers have radically elevated rates of metabolic disease, cancer, and depression. Not because they work hard, because their phatic environment has been corrupted at the level the brain runs on. Here is one fact that should stop you cold. The global epidemic of childhood myopia, of nearsightedness, in some East Asian cities now affecting more than 90% of young adults, it is not primarily an optical problem. It is a photobiological one. Children who spend more time outdoors, in real sunlight, do not become nearsighted at the same rate. The intensity of natural daylight is hundreds of times brighter than any indoor environment. The mechanism is retinal dopamine release, triggered by the intensity of natural daylight, which is hundreds of times brighter than any indoor environment. Without that signal, the eye grows the wrong shape. A generation of children is going blind slowly because we have built a world without the light their cells require. That is one mismatch. There are many others. You evolved in contact with the earth. Now you stand on rubber soles on insulated floors. You are surrounded by electromagnetic frequencies your body has never encountered until the last 100 years. You evolved drinking water that came out of the ground, full of minerals and structured by exposure to the planet's own electromagnetic field. Now you drink water that has been processed, stripped and bottled. You evolved with daily temperature variation, cold mornings, hot afternoons. Now you live inside a tightly controlled climate that never asks your mitochondria to adapt to anything. Each one of these mismatches has a specific molecular cost, a specific signaling pathway that fails to activate, a specific input that your cells expect and never receive. Together, they constitute what this book calls environmental energetic mismatch. It is the deepest and least appreciated cause of modern chronic disease. Not because it is mysterious, because it is invisible. You cannot see what is missing from a fluorescent lit office. You can only see what is there. The environment speaks gives you the catalogue of what is missing. Light, water, magnetism, temperature, mechanical loading, the rhythms your body has been listening for since long before there was a body. When you give the body back what it expects, the cells respond. The motors run faster, the clocks resynchronize, the pattern reorganizes. This is what environmental medicine is. Not a fad, not a trend. The systematic restoration of the inputs your biology was built to receive. Once you understand it, you cannot walk through your own day the same way again. The Environment Speaks, Volume 4 of the Living Energy series, by Hornbeak. Read the book.